All right, welcome back. Welcome back. So, Kinyani, just as Jax was about to speak, she was cut off by a monstrous scream. Something animal, but more horrifying. And you see from the tree line a gargantuan creature flying, massive wings, and falls down just before you and lands not far from you. And this is what you see. It is a giant creature, a bat of some kind, but clearly twisted. And it is not long before you recognize the gleam in its eye. For not only are they glowing some strange amber glow, but its right eye happens to be pierced with a shard, not unlike one that is housed within your hammer. It roars mightily. Jax, you awaken on your feet, startled out of your dreamless sleep at the edge of a cliff. The rest of you also find yourselves awakened. So you guys are all awake, but you kind of miss one turn. Except for this creature and Kinyani. It'll be your turn, but first, everybody, please roll initiative.
Initiative.
So, if we're sleeping, I would assume that we're not wearing armor, right?
In theory, yeah. That's the usual rule.
Not a 14.
14? Okay.
Sorry, initiative?
Let me. Yeah, we're going to do initiative right quick.
Okay.
Let me
I
just
got
add this
13.
To initiative. I need to add everybody to initiative. Jax,
14.
Grimble,
We rolled the same.
Ireena,
Copycat.
Zoltan.
Roll your own initiative, Sean. What the hell?
Excuse me, who's the Sean you're talking about? I'm Grimble.
Okay, roll your own initiative, Grim. It's McGee over here. Okay.
Grimble just kicks Jax in the back of the heel there and knocks her off the cliff.
Rude. Wow, I'll remember this forever. Never forget.
Okay, sorry. Lunaris, what's your initiative?
13.
13,
I'd spill
okay.
some beer on that one.
And Kinyani?
11.
11, okay. Ireena. Pretty good.
Jax got 14.
Yeah. Grim and Jax both got 14.
Ireena and okay, it's not so bad. 14 for Grim and Jax. Okay. Sultan got 12. Yeah, so the usual rule in when you go to sleep in Dungeons and Dragons is you are assumed not to have, I believe, at least basically any armor on. To do so is to potentially give yourself exhaustion, if I remember correctly. So it's assumed that you are in your nightly clothing, whatever that is, just regular, adventurous clothes and such, but unarmored. I'm not so fond of that rule, And so
I mean,
I'm
it would
kind of
make
willing
sense
to.
if we were like at an inn, but like
Hmm.
with us sleeping out in the wilderness, I
Yeah.
think it would make sense if somebody made the decision to sleep with at least some armor on. It
Hmm.
would
I
make
agree.
sense. You know what I mean?
Personally, I've never been fond of that rule. So if everybody agrees, then sleeping characters can have armor, and I'm not going to penalize people for it. I understand it,
I'm with that.
but it is a fantasy world, so I'm not too worried about it. So
I think where it makes sense. Where it makes sense.
okay, yeah, perfect. No worries. Okay. So you are all awakened by this monstrous 10-foot creature. Its wingspan is significantly larger, but as it lands, you can tell it's got about a 10-foot space it's kind of eating up. And it is damn fast. It got 21 actually, for its initiative. And it seems to be absolutely psychotic and locked eyes on Kinyaani in particular, and rushes forth to attack you. I need to bring this up. Sorry, give me a second. My encounters.
Also, are
Mhm.
we surprised? What does surprise?
Yeah, so you guys, so those who are just waking up, I'll give you a chance to like basically get up, but you can't attack or anything.
Yeah.
That's only Kinyaani and the creature itself can roll this, can do anything significant this round. Mhm. Sorry, give me a second here. I'm trying to find the damn thing. There it is. Okay.
And this is hostile, right?
It is
I'm assuming.
very, very clearly hostile, yes.
No, it's your best friend. It's like a puppy.
I didn't know if it was my guardian or somebody else.
So
that's
was
showing up.
Jax asleep or just sleepwalking?
Yeah.
She was sleepwalking, yeah.
Okay.
Sleepwalking and sleep talking. You know how I do.
Kiani's not the only. Kiani's the only one who's not surprised, essentially.
Yep,
Yeah,
essentially,
exactly.
yes.
So
Zell
he gets
has
a turn.
fully decided to base Jax off of me in real life.
Wait.
Yeah, pretty much. Why not? So, Kinyani, this creature leaps forward and grabs you with its feet, looking to keep you still and grapple you. Please roll either an athletics or a acrobatics check to see if you can give him the slip.
Okay, acrobatics, because it's a +4. I got a 15.
15?
Oh,
Okay.
Your athletics was the +4. Acrobatics is 3.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this creature is really powerful and strong. And even though you try and like wrestle, it sort of one of its claws sort of folds off of you, but the other one grasps you around the waist. And it screams, its jaws like basically roaring in your face and then biting down to try to attack you. And does a 16 hit you?
Woo! All right, 16 damage.
Just barely.
Sorry, no, 16
see-
to hit. What's your armor class? Sorry.
Oh, armor class for my hit points or my.
Your armor class is just.
Armor class is 15.
15? Oh, okay, so it does hit you. All right,
Yes.
and it does. Oh my God, seriously. Anyway, it only rolled a 1. but you still take 6 points of damage as it chomps onto your shoulder. It seems to lap at your blood and writhe in pleasure as it tastes your life essence.
And you said
Hot.
six damage. 6 hit
6
points.
damage. Yeah, 6 damage. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
All right, it is your turn.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to invoke my rage.
Mhm.
My bonus action.
Sounds
And
good.
then it has me in grip, like the grip. It has me in its grip, or is it still okay? So I'm encumbered. Like I have a hand that's like. Is it like gripping me?
Yeah, I'll explain. I'll read it out just for a second here.
Okay.
Quick reference for it's grappling you essentially.
Grappling.
So,
okay.
Using at least one free hand, you try to seize the target by making a grapple check, a strength athletics check contested by the target's strength athletics or dexterity acrobatics check. The target chooses which ability to use. If you succeed, you subject the target to the grappled condition. Its speed is set to 0. So you can either get out of its grapple if you want. Continue. You can attack even though you're grappled and everything like that.
Okay.
But you basically can't move. You're kind of stuck in that position
Okay.
if you just let yourself be.
All right. I have a feeling that I'm probably not going to get out of its grasp, so I'm going to use my Warhammer with 1d8 plus 2. And going to roll.
Yep. Go ahead and roll
9.
Oh, you have to roll to attack first. So the +5, I think it is, or +4, whatever it is.
+4, okay. All right, that is 13.
13 does hit.
And then 9 damage.
9 points of damage. All right. So the creature's grip kind of affords you the the chance to smash it one-handed into its flank. It roars in pain as it takes 9 points of damage. It is wounded, but you can tell that. No, yeah, it's definitely hurt for sure. It looks like it is not having fun. Okay, it gets to unfortunately go again, and so we'll continue to grapple you. Go ahead and roll to see if you can get out of it.
Yep, athletics, right? Athletics.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, all right, 5. I'm getting hit today.
Mine. You know what? You squirm out, but it manages to grab you with its second claw, but just barely. It actually rolled a 3, but it just happens to have a high roll, so or high bonus. So that's the only reason why it managed to get above you. All right, and it's going to go for another nasty chomp. Ooh. It does indeed hit. This time it does 9 points of damage on you as well. Yeah, grasping at your arm and biting deeply. And yeah, you get to go one more.
All right, so I'm going to do head ends. Let's see. For my bonus action, I don't have a heal, like a traditional heal. I'd have to look at my inventory.
I don't think you have any healing potions or anything like that. So yeah, currently you're relegated to, yeah.
Okay. So let's see here. I will. If I wanted to, okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and attack again with my Warhammer. I'll do the hits first.
Okay.
Okay, it'll be 8, and then the 1d8 plus 2.
Oh, that 9 damage gets half if it's piercing or slashing damage. Do you take that into account because you're raging?
I get. So say again.
Yes, you're right. You're right. Because you're raging, you only take half of that 9 damage. So you're round.
Is it rounded up? So 5?
I'll round. I'll round down. So 4 damage.
4 damage. Okay.
So you can add 5 to what you have.
Mm-hmm.
And I only did I got an 8 for my hits, and then I got a 3 for my damage.
All right. Yeah. Unfortunately, it bats aside your attack with ease. Its mouth still locked onto your arm, and it starts sort of shaking you with psychotic fury. The thing that you notice right away is this thing is matching you at the very least in strength, but more importantly, it's matching you in your rage as well. It doesn't seem to be a thinking, clear creature. It is fully locked into you and has like a ravenous hunger and hatred for you, it seems.
Okay. All right, so I finished my turn.
Yep. And so, top is Ireena. Ireena screams in fear, and at first she doesn't know what to do, but decides to, seeing you in fairly dire straits here, can't help but move into position and strike out at the creature, despite her fear. The creature doesn't seem to even notice her or anything like that, but her fear just seems to get the better of her, and she just swings wildly and unfortunately misses. All right. Grimbold, you're up.
Yes. I'm just going to, I guess, attack with my psychic blades.
Sounds good. Are you getting into melee combat for that, or are you?
My ranged.
Okay. Go ahead and attack as you desire.
I got a 10 for my hit.
Okay. That does not hit, unfortunately.
And a 7, so I do nothing.
All right. Gribbled manifests these psychic blades and, throws them out in rapid succession. Unfortunately, both missing wide. We have Jax of Candlekeep. You find yourself at the cliff's edge with a massive creature currently latched onto your friend Kinyani.
Yeah. Am I close enough that if I used Flame Blade, I could stabby stab?
Yep. Should be.
Okay, I'm going to do that then. I'm going to cast Flame Blade.
So you can still, you'll still have to move, but yeah, you'll still be able to attack.
Okay.
Is Flame Blade an action or is it a bonus?
It's a second level spell.
Bonus action. Perfect. Yep. So that should be fine. So
okay. Where do I need to move to?
Probably right about here.
Okay, that's fine. I'll move here then.
Perfect. All right. And go ahead and make an attack roll with your Flame Blade.
So 3d6.
Oh, attack first.
Oh.
Yep, you have to do your plus
4.
Plus 4 to attack, yeah.
Okay. So 14.
14. Okay, yeah, that does hit.
Okay. And then this is my 6. So 4. And then 5, so that's 9. 2 is 11.
Nice. Jax erupts a blade of fire into her hand, running over to join Ireena and desperate to save her friend from getting more blood in this creature's mouth, pierces forward with the searing blade, causing it to screech in agony, its mouth dislodging the wood elf in pain. You do 11 points of damage. Groovy. Let me just realized I did not write down his hit points properly. Give me a second here. I need a calculator. I suck at math.
You should have one
Hello?
on your phone.
I am calculator.
Yeah, but then you'd know how many points the creature has, which we're not allowed to.
I might know, but that doesn't mean that I would tell anybody about all that.
Okay.
I can keep secrets. Probably not, but you know.
Nice, nice.
At least you're honest.
All right, you've definitely wounded the thing, but it clearly has a substantial endurance. So this is probably the toughest creature you've fought to date thus far, from what you can
Fair
tell.
enough.
All right, Lunaris Lanente.
Decide what I want to do. I have grabbed my lance, but I'm thinking I could like run up and attack with my lance, or I could shoot it with a nice spell and light it up with holy energy.
I should just to not to retcon, but just to kind of go back for a second, because you did ask to go and talk to the farrier. He was unable to actually fix the greatsword, and unfortunately, he actually damaged it. It isn't currently not worth even fixing. It's pretty much broken. I literally rolled a 1 on it to see if he could fix it.
Lovely.
So he literally accidentally broke it. just for the record, that's why you don't have it. So sorry about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't. All right.
It's unfortunate.
Okay. I shall delete it. Goodbye, second greatsword.
Pretty much, yeah. You're not having a good luck with that one. But yeah. Anyway, sorry. I wanted to make sure you knew that.
I need a celestial weapon to handle my holiness. Anyway,
you're just too hard on it otherwise.
So I'll just grab the lance, but I'm going to shoot a guiding bolt from my hand into the creature. That has a +5 to attack. 17 +5. Big ol' hit.
It will definitely hit. Yep.
4d6.
That is a powerful spell.
It's a nice spell. 2 4s, which is 8. 4 and a 1, so 13.
13.
Yep.
All right.
And then a next attack has advantage.
Nice. Wow, that's a really powerful spell. Okay. Yeah, a streaming bolt slams into the side of the creature's face, searing into the searing with the fire that is kind of jabbed into his shoulder that Jax has also done. It looks fairly wounded by it. It clearly is roaring back, and it lifts its wings in sort of almost like defensively, trying to protect itself and nurse its massive wound. But yeah.
And
awesome.
As a bonus action, I'll cast Shield of Faith on Keone. Give him an extra +2 to AC.
Nice. Good idea. I like it.
Thank you.
All right. So Zoltan will come out, both scimitars rocking it, and he'll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 come up to its side. What'd you say?
Oh, no, nothing. Here. Never mind. I already made my choice. I can't go back.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. I need to just quickly see what its things are here.
Sure.
Just as he comes up, he slices his arm, muttering a curse under his breath to the creature in front of him. And the blood seems to solidify and go up his swords. He does. Sorry, give me a second here.
And that attack would have had advantage on it if you didn't. But
Yeah, I haven't rolled. I'm just looking at his character sheet for a second. Okay. Yeah, so it gets advantage on its attack. Sweet. And with quick, rapid strikes, Zoltan hits home, doing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 points of damage as it kind of double blade attacks the creature, doing 14 points of damage. Pretty good. Again, the wings take the brunt of the damage as it tries to protect itself, but streaks of blood and fire seem to mat its fur at this point. All right. Finally, we have Kinyani.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I will let's see. I will go ahead and attack a Warhammer again.
Mhm.
Since I'm so close with a 5 feet range. Okay, to hit is a 12. And then
Hits.
and then a 7.
7 points of damage. Nice.
7 points of damage.
Rage adds 2 on that too as well.
Adds 2 damage. You're right.
So 9. Yep.
So
plus
9
2.
points of damage. Nice. Well, you guys have definitely done a good chunk of damage to this thing. But it definitely seems to be taking less damage than it ought to be from certain attacks. So the ones that clearly have done the most are the fire damage.
Mine was radiant damage as well. Just let you know.
So fire and radiant. The various flamey types seem to be doing more damage, but not unlike the rage of Kinyani, it seems to be particularly resistant to the slashing and bludgeoning that's being done to it.
Yeah.
So, but still, you guys have done a good chunk of damage regardless. Sorry, just calculating here.
Should have done the shield on Jax. I thought Kinyani was still grappled, but you mentioned that he's not grappled anymore, right?
When I hit him, or when I hit the creature, he got loose.
It was more like his mouth loosed. He's still grappled, technically, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was more that like he was just getting chomped on, and he reared up, so he's not getting chomped on currently. It's more of an aesthetic thing than an actual mechanical.
Right.
I was just describing it so it sounded cool.
Got it.
Okay, so as the bat comes around, again it decides to instead of grapple, seeing so many enemies. It will try and grapple one more time. Go ahead and roll a athletics for me there, Adam.
Okay, athletics. 10.
10. Yeah, this time the creature gets both of his claws onto you, and with his wings, mighty and powerful, it beats against the ground and starts lifting off into the sky.
Oh, gods.
That being said, because it is in something of a frenzy, it does not get to go without having attacks from you guys. And so you guys all get a free attack of opportunity with a weapon of your choice before it leaps into the sky.
Except
with
for
me.
Kiani.
With you,
Yeah.
yes.
Kiani doesn't get the opportunity attack, though, right?
No, Kiani does not, no.
No.
Well,
What
this
about-
is very unfortunate. I'm gonna stab you at it again with my flame blade.
Okay, sounds good. Go ahead.
And
I rolled
I
a
don't-
17 that time.
Okay, yep.
We've got 3, 5, 9.
All right, 9 points damage. Ireena tries to swing wildly, unfortunately misses.
Ireena, get it together. Come on.
I don't think Grimbolt's close enough for an opportunity attack.
I'm just
No,
kidding. I didn't actually.
But I
That's
am
true.
because what?
But I've got something up my sleeve.
All
Old Grimble playing his tricks.
right.
Let's get
I do,
that
'cause
rope and
my,
grappling hook out.
My
And-
lance
Yeah,
is
you have
10
a-
feet.
you have a
so
lance,
I
yeah.
can.
Yep,
That
go ahead.
attack is 17 plus 4.
Okay, yep, you
12
hit.
for damage. This was piercing damage, though. But I'll probably Divine Smite as well. Okay, so 8 piercing damage.
Okay.
And Divine Smite.
Is that you only get one reaction, so technically
It's
you
not
could
a
use this.
It's not a reaction. It's a
Oh,
special.
it's not.
It's a choice when I hit with a melee attack. It's not even a bonus
Okay.
action. It's just a
Okay.
special.
Good to know. Good to know.
Pal-
All right.
Paladin is fun. Paladin is fun.
They all have their special abilities, that's for sure.
That they do. So that's 2d8. I don't want this bitch flying off with my friend. Radiant.
If we can keep him from flying off, I have another planned.
Is it a fiend? Or
It
an
is
undead?
not, no.
Okay. A 6 and an 8.
Okay.
So that's 14 more radiant damage.
Okay, let me just quickly calculate this for a second. It is definitely hurt, like very hurt. The question is it hurt enough?
And that also expended my last spell. And then yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm done.
So as it takes off into the sky, you guys do a significant amount of damage. It looks extremely weary, but has fended off most of those attacks. Even Zoltan strikes another attack, doing a few more points of damage just on its leg, but unfortunately cannot dislodge Kinyani from the grip of this monstrous creature. And it starts to lift into the air. It screeches one more time, and the screech is received with another round of creatures that come flying through the night.
Oh, I love this for us. This is great.
Appear at these places. Swarms of bats that cloud into little bursts of strange whirlwinds come flying down from the sky as it's the command that this creature seems to have on it appears to have them join the fray. It does not actually, no, it would actually get that. It's got multi-attack, so it does get to do one more bite in the air.
Remember, he has 17 AC now, too.
Unfortunately, or rather, I suppose, fortunately for you, there is just a gleam of magical energy across you that seems to blind it, and it snaps forward, but you're able to kind of have this warding light that seems to just cause it to recoil for the moment. But you are now 60 feet off the ground as it
no.
goes straight up, its powerful wings capturing you. And so that is its turn. Next in line is Ireena. She gasps and screeches out as some bats seem to swarm her. What you do notice, however, is that while she kind of panics and she's kind of swiping at them, they don't actually appear to be harming her. This particular swarm of bats is actually pretty much on top of her, but they're actually creating some kind of funnel around her. And not touching her at all, actually. She doesn't seem to notice it. She's kind of just swiping at it, and she does hit, and manages to cut through a couple of small bats, doing how much damage?
Actually hit.
Yeah, she actually hit something. I just been rolling really shit for her. Nice. She does like 10 points of damage to this thing. 10 points of damage? 9 points of damage. 9 points of damage, sorry. Yeah, taking out like a good chunk of the swarm in one strike. She manages to fell quite a few bats. But yes, it is now Grimbold's turn.
I guess I'm just gonna attack the one right here on my right.
Okay.
I got a 20 and a 7 for damage.
All right. You're doing this one, right?
Yeah, the one on the right there.
Sweet. Yeah, with another. So that was just one attack you're using?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you cut in the psychic blade, severing several other bats. There's just a few more that seem to be sort of circling around Ireena at this moment, but yeah, you did a significant amount of damage to this particular swarm. Alrighty, Jax. What would you like to do?
I would like to use my flame blade since I'm right by Ireena, and swipe at the bats that are kind of like between us, and then if any remain, kind of like almost like put myself back to back with her, so that way I am between her and some of the bats too.
All right, sounds good. You're going to attack them though, or?
Yeah. Well, to get through, I would assume I would have to.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Go ahead and do an attack roll.
17.
Yep.
And then
Good.
5, 7, 8, 9, 10.
With a few deft swipes of a fiery blade that bursts several of the remaining bats around Ireena into dust, Jax of Candlekeep goes back to back with Ireena, who welcomes the other lady's presence, and each of you sort of face off against what other foes may come here. But this swarm is cut down by Jax and Grimbold and Ireena in quick succession.
Beauty.
Yeah, good job. Lunaris, I believe it is your turn.
Okie dokie. So the creature's 60 feet in the air with Kiani?
60 feet, yep.
And I'm out of spells. So, but I
Sprout
still
some
have
wings.
I wish, maybe one day, but we'll see. I've heard of some Aasimar that can, but I'm going to say a prayer to the evening glory, and as a bonus action, channel my divinity to because I can do channel divinity once per long rest, and I can have harness divine power where I can use that up to give myself a level 1 spell.
All right, sounds good.
And I'm gonna try and blast it out of the sky with another guiding bolt.
All right, let's see how it happens.
+14 +5.
All right.
It does hit. How much damage do you
Let's see. More radiant damage.
do?
I've got to take it down. 4 and 2 is 6. 6 and 6 is 18. That was lucky. That's all I got.
A bolt of guiding light from Lunaris's outstretched arm flies forth, crashes into the beast's chest. It roars in absolute pain, clearly cutting through whatever rage it might have. It falters as it's seeking to fly away, and the amber glow that seems to go through its eyes flutters out for the moment. Even though it seems so close, it knows its days are numbered if it continues, and decides instead to drop Kinyani from 60 feet.
Oh no.
I have time to get under him and catch him. I want to catch him.
In theory, I guess you could. Yeah,
If he's straight up, it's a 5-foot step over.
I think the issue isn't that he's falling. It's that there's nothing you can do because you've already done your actions, I guess. So in theory, you could be an obstacle that he lands on.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's totally believable. So sure, yeah.
Break his fall. I can either break his fall and take extra damage myself, or I could just let him fall and heal him after.
I will allow you, Kinyani, to roll acrobatics to see if you can mitigate some of the damage you're about to take by falling 60 feet from the sky.
All right, let's see. 16?
Is there a...
Yeah, you...
Oh, yeah. Good job.
You'll... so you manage to, at the last second, kind of grasp on to the creature, sort of slowing your fall for just a portion of that. Unfortunately, it is not a whole lot that can help, and you fall. Oh, that's not too bad, actually. I rolled really shitty. It could have been way worse. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You take 13 points of damage, but because you are raging, you only take half of that damage.
That's considered bludgeoning.
Mm-hmm. And slam hard into the ground. You don't seem to notice a good portion of that damage, though. So, yeah, not too bad. What did I say, 14?
14.
So it takes 7 damage.
7 damage, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Lands prone.
Zoltan
you're
in the
welcome.
meantime.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Zoltan in the meantime takes his scimitars and hacks twice at the cloud of bats that are swarming him, doing 12 points of damage, cutting down several in quick succession. It's still alive, but yeah. All right. So you are prone. It takes about half your movement to get up, but what would you like to do, Kinyani?
Since we are being surrounded, and the bigger beast is in the air now. He's already out. So then I will focus my attention. The bat. Yep, focus
these bats. Perfect.
Yep. So I'll be focusing my attention on them,
Sounds
And
good.
I will go ahead and attack with my Warhammer since they're so close.
Sounds good.
So we got a 5 to hit, and then a 1d plus 2, 4 damage. So let's see if I hit him.
So Kenyani lands with a thud. His rage is still pumping through his blood. That he leaps to his feet, wildly swings at the bats that are nearby, unable to get back at his primary attacker. Unfortunately, it does not do anything. His rage making him a little less accurate than. And maybe less about his rage and more about the 60-foot fall you just took and managed to just shrug off like it was nothing. The massive creature 60 feet above you hovers for one last moment, massive wings causing a torrent of torrential gust of wind upon you as it rises ever higher and then suddenly peels off into the night to not be seen any longer. Oops.
All right, and then I am done with my.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Ireena will move over here, emboldened by the massive creature's decision to peel off, as well as Jax coming to her aid. She decides to come to Zoltan's aid by. Actually, no. She'll stick here. No. Yeah, she'll kind of spin with Jax here and move aside and attack the group of swarming bats here. Unfortunately, missing wildly because she sucks apparently, and maybe I just need to use different dice for her because it was terrible. But Grimbald, your turn is up.
Alrighty. I guess I'm just gonna attack the bats again. This one to the ones, I guess, besides Zoltan.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
I got a 23 and a 8 for crit.
Sweet. With a, I assume you're throwing this psychic blade.
Yeah, my psychic blade's attack.
Nice. A psychic blade kind of explodes through one and manages to pierce another bat, dissipating the swarm in an instant as several still kind of were hanging out, but they decide to depart as the small group loses its cohesion. And you have one left, and that's next to Lunaris.
Did Jax go?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Jax.
Not
Yep.
yet. Not
Yep,
yet.
I'll-
He's keeping.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So you said there's one left next to Lunaris?
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
in range of me, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I'll just stab it. Bop bop. Little boppy bop.
Give it a little
All
stabby
right.
stabby.
Oh, I only rolled a 10.
Oh.
What is this exact class again? I don't think that hits.
Maybe I sneezed while I,
Nope, you don't hit, unfortunately.
I had to sneeze. Sorry, guys. Sorry about
Probably
that.
farted on the attack. That's why.
A little bit
No, I
too
haven't had
concerned
any
with
daily.
Ireena's safety as she moves from your back. You look over your shoulder as you kind of wildly swing your fiery blade, unfortunately passing harmlessly by the swarm of bats next to Kenyani and Lunaris. All right, now it's Lunaris' turn. Oops.
Do I get disadvantage with my, or is it, can I just not attack with the lance up close?
That's a great
Disadvantage
question.
when I use the lance. Okay.
I think it's disadvantage, yeah.
All right, I'll swing my lance around with disadvantage.
Well, I'm going to say it's not necessarily at disadvantage because you could just move here and you can do the sort of pincer attack kind of thing.
Oh, okay. And it
And just
cancels
attack.
out?
Just cancels out, yeah.
Right. Let's do it then.
Cool.
At 20.
All right. Do roll your damage dice twice and add your attack, your damage bonus.
A 1.
Oh.
A 10 there. So
All
11
right.
plus 2. Yeah. 13.
Okay. So
Or
13 damage.
do I double the dice that I roll, or do I roll twice with the dice?
You roll 2 damage dice
Okay.
and then add your bonus.
All right. So yeah, 13.
Nice. So yeah, more of a bashing motion than an actual stabby pierce. You swipe away several of the swarm of bats, knocking them loose or killing a bunch. It's still flapping. There's a few in the group that are holding a bit of cohesion, which Zoltan quickly runs up, crushing or almost slipping on Ireena's pillow or whatever she's got as he swings to end the group. Missing once, but hitting another time to do 6 points of damage, which effectively causes the group to dissipate and fly off. A few members flying off into the night.
Oh.
Da, 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 da. Wait, do I actually have...
GG.
I think I have a... No, I guess I don't. Never mind. So yeah, seems like you guys are great and fine. Or are you?
Or are we?
Mr. Kinyaani, can you please roll a wisdom saving throw, please?
Yes, wisdom saving throw. Ugh. 4. My rolls are not on today.
Yeah. The wood elf, Kinyaani, his arms bulging with strength and rage. Grimbald, you're the one who notices in particular that there is a certain glow of amber in the eyes of your wood elfin friend. His rage does not seem to go away all too soon, and he starts rushing out into the darkness as he starts giving chase to where he believes the creature started going.
I'm running after him. Not letting him
All
go alone.
right. Yeah, he sort of jumps through the trees at a cliff's edge, looking out into the night, screaming in rage, and he swings his axe or his warhammer into a tree and causes a massive dent into it, looking around for the being that attacked him. He seems almost possessed. Ireena calls out and says, "Come back! What is he doing? What's wrong with him?"
He gets like this sometimes when
He's got anger issues.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, I'm kidding. I didn't actually say that.
She moves
Yeah, you
to
did.
the edge here.
No.
She moves to the edge of the decline here, and it's mostly the lack of light that prevents her from giving chase.
I guess I should have my torch out. Well, I'm running, I guess, after him.
Give him a minute to cool off.
I think.
Want to get in his way right now. We did that once before. It was nothing.
Zoltan goes around to make sure the bats are dead and starts gathering them up, kind of tossing them in a pile to be burned. Or questions about possibly eating it, but decides to not.
Zoltan questioned about eating the bats?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Zoltan, no. Graham, don't even think about it. Graham.
I said I thought about it. I'm a hunter after all. Bats can be edible, in theory.
Yeah, so were the pies that we ate that, made us sick. Maybe we should just not.
That's a good point. I'm just saying, I was being pragmatic. I hate to see things go to waste. Kenyani, can you just give me one more wisdom saving throw, please?
Yes. Ooh, 12.
All right. You find the rage takes a moment to subside. You catch yourself starting to climb down a cliff's edge here, but finally decide or recognize the what's going on. The shards of amber that are embedded in your hammer seem to glow with particular light, and they catch your eye as you're sort of moving to climb down, and the spell that they seem to have, or the emotion that it seems to have, this hunger and this desire to find another shard, not unlike its own, that was clearly embedded in the eye of the massive bat-like creature.
Yes.
That it just keeps pulling at you, but you're able to sort of break its spell that it has over you and end your rage in any case. Nicely done. Eventually, Grimbold will come up with a torch kind of running after you. Grim, you notice that Kenyani is staring off into the either at his hammer or off into the void, whatever. Seems less there's less concern for him in any case.
Everything's
hey, buddy.
fine.
You good?
Yes, I'm good. Let's go back to camp.
Maybe there's some fresh bats for us.
I tried to give you guys a hint of what would happen by wearing my Batman shirt.
Ah.
I like it.
He's like, what subtext could I have for my campaign today?
I like it. I'm here for the hint. So, note to self: starts paying attention to what shirt you're wearing. Got it.
That's right.
Noted.
I like it. So, as the adrenaline starts leaving your bodies, you notice that Ireena in particular is shaking quite a bit. She holds out her hands, and they're like literally shaking, and she's like, I don't know what's happening. And it's really clearly just the fact that she's never actually been in battle before. And so the adrenaline, she's not used to it. It's just kind of taken a bit to wear off. But yeah.
Oh, you fought good, Irene.
Yeah, maybe we should just go sit down and try and relax, and you'll feel better. That was your first real fight, so I mean, that's a normal feeling, I would think.
She nods and yeah. decides to grab a pull from her water skin just to, calm herself down a little bit. Just stares at the fire, clearly, not used to the feeling. But yeah. So that's you're about halfway through the night at this point. Are you guys gonna
Try
take
and
a
get some
watch
more
again?
rest.
And, yeah.
Yeah, we more or less have to start our rest over again because we were interrupted.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately.
Keone needs the rest more.
Yeah, I can
I'll
stay
take.
up.
So you'll stay up. I'll take the next 2 hours, and then Keone
Yeah.
can get the
We
4
do a
hours in
long
the morning.
rest, right?
Yeah, just give me a second. I'm
Unless we get
something.
interrupted again.
I'm about to find out.
Unless we get interrupted again.
I don't have any spells left to save us this time. Do still have
Would
some.
you like
healing.
me to stay up for a little bit and you can rest?
Oh, no, that's quick. Yeah, I guess so. Not like it matters anyway.
That way I don't end up sleepwalking, maybe?
Yeah, you can stay with Ireena for a bit.
Yeah.
Calm her down.
Yeah, see what happens.
Stay up with Ireena until she's able to sleep.
Okay. With the departure of the bats, it is not long before the wolves return. They stay well without out of the sort of edge of your campfire's light. Once in a while, a brazen wolf, black fur with blood red eyes, creeps forward from this side of the forest, and it gets to within about 20 feet. It's not snarling by any means, but it's sort of like slowly creepy, coming forward the camp. This is about an hour or so into your the rest of your night. What would you guys like to do?
Well, everybody else is resting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is Ireena sleeping? Has she fallen asleep yet?
No.
Has she noticed the wolf?
Yes. She kind of watches you guys to see what you guys will do.
I just kind of want to be quiet and watch it right now. I don't want to do anything.
Okay. The wolf will eventually get to about this position right here before lying down. It looks almost puppy dog-like at this point, with its sort of tongue like hanging out. Clearly, it's still, a wild animal that looks, it could easily just turn into violence at any given moment, but for now it just seems content in staring at Ireena, and it does so. She looks kind of uncomfortable with it, but yeah, just sort of moves to the other side of the camp essentially, and will go, kind of put herself, just to the side of the fire, basically right across from the wolf.
So I have a thing called message, where I can point a finger toward a creature within range and whisper a message. And it says the target hears the message and can reply in a whisper that only you can hear. And it doesn't say anything about language or anything. Is that something I could use to try and communicate with this wolf?
You can go ahead and try.
Okay.
I would say it's dependent on the creature knowing the language. And so if it happens to know the language, then it could potentially... I mean, wolves don't, unless it's a supernatural being that is capable of talking in the common tongue, it would not be able to really to say anything back to you. But yeah, I mean, you're so welcome to talk to it in that way, see what happens. It's up to you.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to make sure that I'm between. I just clicked on the wrong screen. I was trying to click on the the screen you're sharing instead of Owlbear on my end.
I've done that like 5 or 6 times too.
I've literally done that myself in my like actual recorded side of things, my screen
That's
on this
funny.
side. I'm like,
I just gonna. Why are you guys moving around? You're supposed to be sleeping.
Sorry. I don't know where people are sleeping. So
I'm not sleeping. Am I? Yeah, I'm awake, right?
I'm just gonna. No, you're asleep. Everybody's sleeping except for me and Ireena right now.
Oh, okay. So, my first watch is over.
I was watching. I was taking first watch.
I think Grim said that he would stay up with you.
Okay.
Was I incorrect on
Okay.
that, or?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Okay. Well, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna do anything. I'm just gonna stay here and make sure I'm between the wolf and Ireena.
Okay.
So
Yep.
I'm watching it
Sounds
closely.
good.
Can I roll for perception though to see if there's anything like if I can hear or feel anything else
Sure.
like around us?
Yep.
It's a good idea.
I'll even
18.
do this. Yeah, you get the distinct. Here, let me put this here. The distinct idea that there are wolves pretty much placed virtually everywhere around your encampment. You see them kind of out of the corner of your eye down over here as well, as they kind of just stay within or just without of the camp light. But they don't appear to be hostile necessarily. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But you do end up hearing them in the background of the area.
Okay.
As dawn begins to approach, so it probably took you a little bit to kind of get settled down and everything like that. The wolves seem to become less and less apparent. Eventually, this one will kind of back off and trot away into the forest. But you still kind of get the sense, as the night wears on, that they're not very far. They're not as immediately threatening, I suppose, but from time to time you'll hear a howl into the distance. And yeah, you're not convinced that they have any intention of leaving you alone for long periods of time.
Okay.
Got to do this. I just realized that I was looking at the nice, the see-through one. Sorry about that. But yeah, So yeah, how long are you intending to stay up? Are you planning on switching off your rest, or?
I mean, it would be nice to take a little rest and maybe get my slot back that I used.
Okay.
So
I'll stay awake. I'm pretty good still.
Okay.
I wasn't hit at all, so.
okay,
Okay.
keep an eye on those wolves, Grim, and if you need to wake me up, even if I'm
Yeah.
sleepwalking, please,
Well, we'll see about that.
please.
Get some rest.
Alrighty. Ireena, although it looks like she tries to sleep, just does not get any. And she basically just tends to the fire and, from time to time will
Roll around.
just kind of get up to like stretch and, grab some extra firewood and stuff like that. But for the most part, yeah, sleep seems to escape her and she just decides to stay awake at some point. So.
Yep.
Okay. Eventually, the mist and the fog lighten with the strange dawn that exists here. It'll still take about 8 hours for you guys to fully rest. Grim, you probably are able to sleep if you want once Kinyani is kind of fully rested after his 4 hours of meditation. Zoltan continues to have terrible nightmares. Jax, as you finally go to sleep, you also begin to have nightmares. You see a version of the death of your brother, Asher, who the story has sort of been related to you a little bit by Grimm, but your imagination takes it to a whole other level. It sort of fills in the blanks, and there's more of a pursuit. And instead of Grimbolt being there, you're the one who's there, powerless, watching behind a dilapidated building. Its windows shattered, and you do everything you can to try and open it up and get to these horrible, twisted human beings or humans that are ravaging and cutting and destroying your brother. And he's crying in pain and desperation, doing everything he can do to try to escape, but his magics seem to fail him, and he keeps calling out to you, somehow knowing that you're behind the window, watching him and asking why you're not doing anything. But every ounce of strength in your body seems to fail you. Every spell and every magical inkling that you have just refuses to answer your call, and you're forced to basically watch your brother murdered and tortured for hours. But yeah,
Love that. Love that for
it's a
me.
good time. But yeah, eventually it becomes late morning. By the time you guys are well rested, the fog and mist come and go, but never really truly leaves this area. And eventually you guys get your 8 hours of rest without too much trouble. From time to time, you note another figure or wolf kind of pacing along this area, but they still seem to, for now anyway, leave you alone. And yeah, always fun. So for those who don't, I assume everybody essentially is still going to attempt to get the 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
going to try and attempt.
Or the
Nice.
full long rest. Just for those who don't know, if you choose to forego a full 8 hours or long rest, it does start to accumulate in something called exhaustion. So in this case, right now, just as an example, Ireena has forgone her 8 hours of sleep, and 1 level of exhaustion gives disadvantage on ability checks. What you notice, or rather what Jax and Grimbold and Zoltan notice, is that the effects of their ailment seem to be matching this exhaustion. And so, please give me, Grim and Jax, and I'll roll for Zoltan, 1 more Constitution saving throw, please.
Nat 20 plus
11.
1.
Okay. So, Grimbold, you wake up from a horrible night of nightmares, but your constitution seems to have returned. You actually got a physically restful sleep, and no longer seem to have a craving for the veggie pies or the pies that you did yesterday. Zoltan seems to also have at least been able to shake some of that. Clearly, he kind of explains that he had a rough night as well. But while he's still somewhat craving the pies, he doesn't seem to be as heavily affected as he was yesterday. Unfortunately, Shanna, on the other hand, you wake up with sweats. The cravings have returned. Go ahead and give me a Arcana check.
Okay.
Mm.
I rolled a nat 20.
Okay.
Mm.
You kind of come to the understanding that whatever was affecting you, or whatever has been affecting you, insofar as the pies are concerned, there was likely some kind of narcotic or magical effect that was placed upon these things, and the restoration that Lunaris gave you from the day before seemed to work for that day, but because you likely had the most, or a far more numerous amount of pie than everybody else, the effects seem to be much more impactful to you, and your cravings still seem to be here. In fact, you currently have 2 levels of exhaustion even after your day of rest, which means that your speed is currently halved, and you have disadvantage on ability checks. Now, that being said, you are confident that if you can hold out 1 more day, that you should be able to beat this thing.
I can do it.
Sorry. So yeah, that's the state that you guys are in currently.
Shall we do a long rest now? Did we complete it?
Yes, you guys can complete your long rest.
Okay. I'm ready to kick butt again.
So you guys can have your hit points back and all that stuff.
Okay, I'm good.
Cool. All right. Ireena is probably the first one to actually, look like she's ready to get on the road. She's strapped her armor back on at this point. She looks exhausted, but that level of exhaustion that it's almost like propelling her forward than holding her back. She's like, I'll sleep when when I'm safe kind of thing.
Mhm.
But yeah. What would you guys like to do?
And I guess it's time to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can pack it up and head out.
Sounds good.
Think
Sounds
there was
good.
anything in particular?
Yeah, so throughout the day, you still get the sense that you're being watched, although it's not as oppressive as it was the particularly last night, but even during the day. Yeah, that eyes are constantly on you, even if you can't see them. The mist begins to be joined by the rain. Your travel speed is hindered primarily because of Jax.
Sorry,
Your
guys.
your gait is just yeah. Even though you had like a relatively you had a rough sleep, and even though you did sleep, so far as you can tell, yeah, you're just physically ill still, and yeah, without any sort of healing or anything like that, it kind of takes you twice as long to kind of shuffle along and get to your destination. Yeah, so basically, sometime in the later afternoon, you guys eventually will find that the road gradually disappears and is replaced by a twisted, muddy path through the trees. Deep ruts in the earth are evidence of the comings and goings of wagons. The canopy of mist and branches suddenly gives way to black clouds boiling far above. There is a clearing here next to a river that widens to form a small lake several hundred feet across. 5 colorful round tents, each 10 feet in diameter, are pitched outside a ring of 4 barrel-topped wagons. A much larger tent stands near the shore of the lake, its sagging form lit from within. Near this tent, 8 unbridled horses drink from the river. The mournful strains of an accordion clash with the singing of several brightly clad figures around a bonfire. A footpath continues beyond this encampment, meandering north between the river and the forest edge. And I'll even show you guys what that looks like. Yep, not him. Looks like this.
Hmm.
And yeah, around the crackling fireplace, a bonfire, you see about a dozen men and women gathered around it. They seem to be in pretty good spirits. They're very colorfully clad in reds and purples and yellows and greens, all their own flair with sort of brass or copper uh, sort of jewelry kind of within their clothes or on their bodies. A few of them are singing and dancing around the fire, sort of, yeah, just seem to find a measure of happiness, whether in one another's antics and singing or from their flasks and wineskins. And yeah, what would you guys like to do?
Hmm?
Should we make ourselves known to them?
I don't know. It's up to you.
Indicate that we mean them no harm? And these are your people, aren't they?
Who?
Zoltan? Isn't he like Vistani?
In theory, he he's he kind of nods and, is looking around. He looks like he's looking for somebody in particular at the moment, and looks a little disappointed that he hasn't seen them. But he says, well, these are the Vistani, I suppose, there's no reason not to say hello. And he'll lead the charge. The so Zoltan will basically kind of lead the way, and he will sort of call out to them, hello, hail. Is it possible that we might join your fire for the night? There is a larger barrel-chested fellow with a pretty easygoing look about him. Maybe a little bit more wine than he is. What shall we say? Helpful in negotiations or chatting, but he boisterously calls it as like, "Hail and well met! Yes, of course. Join us. Why don't you bring your talents in singing and show us what you can be, what you're made of." He takes a double check and recognizes that there are people in your party that are not human, and looks to some of the others in the group, but they don't seem necessarily put off by you, just surprised, I guess, and take note of you. Zoltan doesn't look like he's intending to sing, but looks at you guys to see what you guys want to do.
I was gonna say, is Zoltan about to like break out into song or something?
No,
Like,
he's kind of like, that's not going to happen. But still,
I mean,
motions
you never
to join.
know. I might wouldn't be the first time I've been thrown off by something he's done. So
it's true. It's fair.
Does anybody have any hidden talents?
I have a glore. It's kind of like a horn. Not really meant for music, but it can make noise.
I've got charisma. I don't have instruments, but I could try and sing.
Yeah,
Sure.
I have performance.
I could use some dancing lights and throw them around while I try and sing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sounds good.
Put on a little performance here.
You see,
Yeah,
I was going to say, you see 3 women are the ones that have sort of a tambourine kind of thing that they're doing. One of them's a dancer, one of them uses a tambourine, and the other one is sort of using like spoons, just plain spoons. And then there's another sort of skinnier gentleman. He's a little snaky looking, but he's got a really charismatic smile, even though he's kind of greasy. And he's the one who's playing the accordion, and he kind of they kind of sort of start up something of a jig kind of thing, and motion for you guys to join in, or whether you want to dance or sing. But yeah, they are appraising you right now is the sense that you get. So how you behave here might be important.
Key, I feel like this is a job for you. Get in there. Key, where are you at?
What skill do I have?
Well, even if you don't have anything in skill, is there something that you would like to
Come on, get
attempt to do? So it would be basically, are you trying to do a performance check, and what are you trying to do? Like, are you Are you a dancer? Are you a singer? Are you what's your least worst talent that you think you feel you can show off? Or I mean, it's up to you. Whatever
You're
you
good
want
with
to do,
acrobatics.
really.
Or no, athletics and acrobatics. You're pretty good at.
Yeah, so I can do uh a sleight of hand, like maybe a trick or
Oh,
maybe
okay.
like a something to do with my dagger. Maybe it's a little show with my dagger. So I will
Sure.
do
Yeah.
sleight of hand. See if that
Sure.
will fit.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead. Give it a shot.
All right, 22.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I will. Hmm?
So what does this look like? What would you try and do? Like maybe like a juggling thing, or just
Yeah, so I basically take my dagger and my warhammer, and I'll just start juggling them in front of them, and maybe throw my warhammer way up high, and they'll just look up and be like, "I don't see it no more." And then just basically me, looking at my hand, looking at the time, just kind of like nonchalant, and then it just comes down and grab it within force and yeah, put on a show.
Sweet. Yeah. Well, you rolled really high, so you do everything and more, where you're just able to impress them all with your impromptu sort of juggling act. And at one point, you even you throw the hammer in the air again, and people are actually looking for it, only to find out that you've used your connection with it to have it already in your hand. And finally, one of the young woman shrieks, is like, he didn't throw it, but we saw it. And everybody's like, oh, that's an amazing trick. And they're totally sold by your performance, even if you're not quite the showman in terms of your demeanor. Your actual ability to do sleight of hand was superb. Well done.
Beautiful.
I will even give you inspiration for that, because that was sweet. That was a great idea.
All right.
Growing up the way I did, I obviously, studied music, but I don't know if it's going to come in handy here, considering I don't necessarily like to have attention on me in this way, but we'll see how this goes.
It's good. All right.
I got an 18, so does that come in handy? Wait, hold on. What do I add to that? Would that be
Charisma?
performance?
Yeah.
Performance?
Yeah. So you're
Plus
probably
2.
performance. Yep.
So 20.
Perfect. All right. So what does this look like? Just explain what you'd be doing. And
So whatever music they're playing, I decide that I'm going to start singing along to it in to whatever they're playing.
all right. Yep.
And yeah, that's it. Because I don't have any instruments, and I don't think I have anything that I
Sure.
can really use as an instrument either. So I can't
I'll
pull out
join in with
ukulele or something.
I have the instrument that I'll
So
join you with.
sure, yeah. let's
So
do it.
Aglar sounds like trumpet, all
Yeah.
those without valves.
Beautiful.
Cool. Yeah.
Beautiful. And
Yeah,
while we're doing that, maybe I'll throw up some dancing lights around us to give us a little showmanship.
Nice. Lunaris, you want to go ahead and roll as well? I'll allow you to do that at with advantage, as Ireena sort of tries to jump in with sort of a clap and her own, not necessarily singing or anything like that, but
She have a jig.
she's just she's kind of trying to bolster you guys. and that combined with the magic of Jacks of Candlekeep, I'll allow she's doing the help action, trying to support you with whatever you
Okay,
do.
that's good. Well, I rolled a 4 and a 7, but I'm going to use my inspiration, and
Okay.
I rolled a 16 plus 3, so 19.
All right.
With my
Sounds good. Nice. Well, that's good. So I mean, you don't start off all that great at first. Ireena, tries to help, but eventually, you start following Jax's lead, as much as just just the atmosphere finally kind of gets you into the mood that you're actually to pull out a pretty decent performance altogether, and it comes off great. Zoltan is being a stubborn ass. He just isn't participating in in a musical kind of way, and he actually seems to just be kind of like scanning the crowd and trying to find.
He's our
He looks like he's
bodyguard.
looking for somebody in particular, and eventually one of the guys comes over and drops a tankard in front of him and says, if you're no good at dancing or singing, you gotta at least put up or shut up kind of thing. And it's like, I challenge you to a drinking contest. And Sultan shrugs and decides, oh, if you're providing the beer, it's like, well, no. It's like we got to keep this straight. And basically, they start making bets on who can do it. And I'll just see who wins here for a second.
Also, Adam, do you know how to add inspiration on your character sheet?
I think inspiration.
Be like the blank box in the top.
Blank box.
Next to the walking speed and your health.
Okay. Oh yes, inspiration. Okay,
Just
got it.
click on it.
There we go. All right.
You have a sun in there for your inspiration.
Yes. Cool.
Nice. It's over the course of about an hour that these two guys, they're fairly, evenly matched. Essentially, they come to a draw, and Zoltan loosens up enough that he's not being a complete dick or anything like that. And they decide to no longer really make it a contest. They just kind of are drinking and laughing and joining in, where they can or however they will with the contests, with the celebrations and such. But yeah. Grimbold, what are you doing this entire time?
I'm sitting back, just smoking my pipe and having a drink.
All right. There is a young woman. She's probably around 15 years old, who kind of flops down. You realize that she's the same one that uses the spoons. Sits down next to you and ribs you a little bit and says, "What about you, little man? What are you going to do for us? Surely you have some talent."
My talents are not this type of a game.
Oh, and what is your type of game then?
Thievery.
Oh, I see. Well, She kind of puts her finger to her mouth and thinks on it for a bit. He's like, well, we could have something of a challenge, if you will. There's a few amongst us that enjoy a little lift or two, and she doesn't, do it herself or anything like that. But perhaps we can come up with a contest to see who's the better. What do you say?
Sleight of hand challenge? I accept.
All right. She kind of wrestles up her tambourine playing friend, and they go to work for the better part of 10 or 15 minutes, and eventually they come out with sort of like a stick man that they've created, and they stick it in the mud with a gentleman's help, one of Vistani's help, and they put a tambourine over the neck of this sort of stick dummy and another tambourine on either arm. And they come up with this game where the people have to go in a circle, and they have to face outwards from, it's sort of like around the bonfire, or out from the bonfire, and they're kind of in a semicircle. facing away from the tambourines, and everybody is on their honor, whether or not they hear anything. But people take turns in getting up, sneaking in, and trying to remove one of the tambourines without making a sound. And whoever wants to try can kind of give it a go. But if anybody hears anything, they can raise their hand, and it just becomes sort of a sleight of hand game.
Sleight of hand versus perception.
Exactly right. So anybody who wants to can participate in it. It ends up becoming like, just an inspired idea, and everybody, starts partaking. And the first couple of people aren't. Let me see what your guys' passive perception. I mean, you guys can certainly roll, but in general, Grimbold, you hear two people back to back without any trouble, and are able to kind of catch them, whether or not they're moving and such. But yeah, it's kind of come to that point where, okay, you try it, Smarty Pants, or Mr. Skill the Rogue person.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do?
I'm gonna go up and give my attempt on it.
All right, sounds good. So, the first thing you'll need to do is a stealth check.
Oh, okay.
The part of the game is not just to not make any noise whilst taking the thing, but also to kind of trick people on whether or not you're even going, if they can hear you the whole time.
I got an 11 on my stealth.
Okay. Nobody seems to raise their hand or anything like that. Whether they heard you or not, they let you attempt your. The main part is they're waiting for the bells. That's kind of the big thing. So you can do a sleight of hand check.
I got a 9.
9, eh? Give me a second here.
Not a very good thief.
Stealth and sleight of hand. You got some good pluses, but you rolled low.
It always seems like that. It's like whenever I do theory stuff, never happens. But when I do like attacks, it's like, yeah, I'm just monstrous attacks.
All right. As you go to, sorry, give me a second here. This is what I was looking for. As you go to reach out, you suddenly have a voice come into your head, and you're actually quite familiar with this voice. It is, in fact, the sound of Asher of Candlekeep. And he says, "Not like that, like this." And your eyes seem to focus, and your ability seems to become more and more enhanced at the moment. What you realize is a part of your psionic or psychic abilities seems to have been activated, and it's called a psi-bolstered knack. When your non-psionic training fails you, your psionic power can help. If you fail an ability check using a skill or tool with which you have proficiency, you can roll one psionic energy die and add that number rolled to the check, potentially turning failure into success. You expend the die only if the roll succeeds.
I didn't even.
Okay.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll one of your 1d6 psionic die.
1d6.
And add the number rolled to the check.
I will roll to see if anyone hears you.
I got a 4.
Okay. Yeah. For whatever reason, even though you're you kind of lift it, and one of the tambourine jingles kind of falls and makes a bit of a noise. You're able to catch it. It's still you in control, but just a level of insight into what's going on sort of comes to your mind, and yeah, your psychic abilities have allowed you to at least pick the thing up. You'll need to roll one more time to see how far you can actually get back to your seat with the tambourine in your hands, though.
What do you need me to roll?
Yeah, just another.
D6?
Let's just do another stealth.
Another stealth. Okay.
Yeah.
24.
Okay. Yeah, so you manage to sit down, and the girl with the spoons can't help herself but take a peek, even though it's cheating, and she sees you just before you start sitting down, and she sort of starts clapping excitedly, seeing how close you got without them actually hearing you. The rest turn and shout in laughter and joy to see how well you did. And a couple of them clap you on the back and are overjoyed by your performance and how good. It's like, well done.
Forget
That
to
was my
record the energy die there, Adam. Or not
yes,
Adam,
yeah.
but John.
Yeah, I thought I would point that out, that you have that ability. I don't know if you knew that you had that. So
I didn't actually.
Yeah, I
but
even forgot about it too.
Yeah.
I thought I had read about it, and I was like, I read it like a couple of days ago, and maybe I was seeing it, but I'm pretty sure this is on your sheet. So anyway, yeah. Grimbold, when you're done, you find yourself staring at your backpack, and it feels like you're kind of being drawn to it for some reason.
Okay.
What would you like to do, if anything?
I would like to open it.
All right. Eventually, what you find yourself kind of grasping onto, which you've kind of covered it with like a simple cloth, is the ashen tome within your backpack. Whether it's just the voice of Asher or your own psionic abilities, you kind of have this bout of inspiration that you actually think you know how to, or at least how to start unlocking this book once more, should you desire. You realize that the way that this Ashen Tome has been set up is, at least in its current configuration, is sort of like a puzzle box. Certain things on the tome itself move or spin or click, and with some trial and error, you just have this intuition that if you wanted to, you could start picking away and seeing if you can't open this book one more time, should you want. But nothing's compelling you to do so. You just have that access to that psionic ability seems to, just stick in your mind for a moment that this might be possible, especially if you started using that newfound or that realized ability in the process of trying to uncover how to open this thing.
Yeah, I'll try to open it.
Cool. All right. So you'll be able to do a sleight of hand then to attempt this. You're welcome to use a psionic point if you want to, but you don't have to. But yeah.
Yeah, I will. I'll use a psionic point.
Okay. So go ahead and give me a roll.
I think it's a D6, right?
So it'll be a D6 added to a 1D20 roll for the sleight of hand. So.
Okay, so
Only
sleight of
expend the
hand
die
was
if the roll
14,
succeeds.
and the D6 was a 6.
So how much did you do altogether?
20 in total.
20. Sweet. Yeah, so you start, basically manhandling this thing, not in a violent way or anything like that, but you just kind of start you're almost using your intuition, whatever has given you this psychic ability. It sort of guides you along, and you're sort of touching different panels and everything like that. And certain ones shift, or there's a lip that you can kind of press up. And as you're kind of going along, you realize that you've actually made a pretty good amount of progress. It takes you the better part of an hour, and eventually you're sort of interrupted by Spoon's girl, who finally actually introduces herself as Sylvastra. And she just kind of asks you what you're doing, noticing that you've been kind of enamored for the better part of an hour with this strange looking book.
I'm just trying to open this book. It's something of significant importance to me, and I just can't figure it out.
Is it a riddle or a puzzle?
It's possible.
Hmm.
Maybe a new set of eyes can help.
She smiles at that and, kind of tries to get a rundown of what you've been doing and recognizes, the trick to the book at some level. Yeah, go ahead and give me an intelligence check. Just a straight intelligence, I think.
Yeah, that'd be a +4.
16.
Nice. Yeah, you're confident that you've unlocked probably about 75% of um, the
Lock
puzzles
mechanism.
essentially that are associated with this. You're kind of stuck at the moment with where to go from here, and she tries to help you. She thinks it has something to do with the clasp itself. You've kind of gone all over the book's front and sides, but the clasp has sort of a like four like buttons that seem to click but not actually stay clicked or something like that. And sometimes when you hit one, then hitting another one will unlock it. And so it seems like there's a pattern to do with those, which because there's four, it could be a lot of different combinations. And so it's just going to take a little while to do that. And so she thinks that it has something to do with that clasp, and it might take you a while, but you're convinced that at least for this evening, you might not crack it quite yet, but you've made a lot of progress on it.
Thank you for your help.
It's like quite the book. I'm curious to see it when it's open.
So am I.
So the people are, they seem of good spirits, and they've enjoyed your time. And eventually there's an older gentleman that comes out of one of the wagons. It's kind of whispered that this is the elder of the Vistani, at least this particular group. And he comes along and says, thank you, my friends, for entertaining my people today. Why not allow us to allow something of the same into yourself? I'm something of a storyteller myself, and perhaps you will join us for the rest of the evening. We would be more than happy to share our fire as well as our the warmth of our company for the remainder of the evening. So the guy introduces himself as Stanimir, and basically, just says, don't worry, we have no wish to see anyone harmed whilst we're here. Besides, we have an understanding with the lord of these lands. In fact, this might be a good time to tell that story. he takes a draught from the wineskin and suddenly spins dramatically and spits the wine into the fire, which engulfs into green flames suddenly that seem to writhe with images. You can tell, Jax, right away that this guy is clearly skilled in the arcane arts of some kind. Whether he's a sorcerer or a wizard, you're not too sure, but yeah, he seems quite versed in it. And this is what the guy looks like. So they dance and sway, and a dark shape suddenly appears in the bonfire's core. We come from an ancient land whose name is long forgotten, a land of kings. This, of course, is the home that we find ourselves, now known as Barovia, but it was not always known as such. Our enemies forced us from our home, and ever since that time we have wandered the lands. The dark shape in the fire takes the form of a man being knocked from his horse suddenly, a spear piercing his side. Stanimir continues. One night, a wounded soldier staggered into our camp and collapsed. We nursed his terrible injury and quenched his thirst for wine. He survived. When we asked him who he was, he wouldn't say. All he wanted was to return home, but we were deep in the land of his enemies. We took him as one of our own and followed him back toward his homeland. His enemies hunted him. They said he was a prince, yet we did not give him up, even when their assassins fell upon us like wolves. Deep in the bonfire you see the dark figure standing with sword drawn, fighting off a host of shadowy shapes. This man of royal blood fought to protect us, as we protected him. We bore him safely to his home, and he thanked us. He said, I owe you my life. Stay as long as you wish. Leave when you choose. And know that we will always be safe here, that you will always be safe here. The figure in the dancing fire vanquishes its final foe, then disperses in a cloud of smoke and embers. Stanimir's face becomes a somber mask. Alas, a curse has befallen our noble prince, turning him into a tyrant. We alone have the power to leave this domain. We've traveled far and wide to find heroes, such as yourselves, to end our dread lord's curse and put his troubled soul to rest. In fact, I suspect one of you, and he stops, looking pointedly at Zoltan, knows the leader of our people, for she knows you, Madame Eva. He kind of motions to a cart on the edge of the camp there. Has quite a large tent, and there's seems to be candlelight coming from it. It is, I think, time that you speak with her. In fact, the fates have brought you to her, and she has not been able to tell the fortunes of this world for many, many weeks now. It seems that she is missing certain pieces, and that she has been waiting for you, for her. He kind of becomes a little somber at first. For her last fortunes to be told. I'm afraid that Madame Eva may be dying, and she wishes to see you.
Well, that's kind of sad.
Not the news we were hoping to hear.
Yes, it is not news that we enjoy seeing or hearing ourselves. But, in truth, Madame Eva is old. Older than any that we have ever seen, other than our Dreadlord, of course. It may be simply that time for her. And perhaps that is why she has resisted telling telling fortunes. But if she does indeed seem to be missing some of her Taroko cards, then the ability to tell the fortune, at least the way she does, may be hindered. She says
How many
that. Yeah, she. Sorry, she said. He goes. She says that only you, the last adventurers, would be able to help with this. Do you know what she means?
I believe so. We've come across some Taroka cards that we were told maybe Madame Eva's.
He he nods and kind of thinks on it for a while, and he says, "Ever have the fates been entwined with my people? We ourselves have the blood in us to bend or to impose the fates at times, often with as dire consequences to ourselves as to those whom we bless or curse, and so we do not do it lightly. Madame Eva is special amongst us, though. She has a gift, but enough for me. Please, when you are ready, consider talking to her. And, of course, feel free to set up your camp. You will be safe here for tonight."
Thank you.
Okay.
We appreciate you.
So should
Zoltan,
Zoltan go
yeah,
first?
yeah. Zoltan kind of leads the charge, and he kind of takes out his Taroka card and just looks at it one last time. For those who may have forgotten by now or have yet to catch up, I'll show you what these all look like. Give me a second to... What? There they are. That is what we have for our Taroka cards. Each one of the parties seems to have one. Grimbold Silentfoot has one called the Ghost. Jacks of Candlekeep, a Raven. Zoltan Mordred III has the Dark Lord. Linaris Lenente, the Artifact, and Kinya Ani has the Broken One. And yeah, Zoltan begins his ascent up the wagon that seems to be open, and begins to walk inside. But that, I think, is where we will end it for tonight. Hopefully, the next time we play Curse of Strahd, we shall meet, finally, one of your only allies in this place, Madame Eva.
Oh. Dun dun dun.
Dun dun
Dun,
dun.
dun, dun.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks for playing, folks. And yeah, until next time, adieu.
Yeah.